I want to talk about episode 11's trailer real quick. So we see Hee Tae getting kidnapped, tied up. The only reason that I could think of on why is Keenam ordering the soldiers to kidnap him and tie him up so he wouldn't be in the crossfire while Keenam is enforcing martial law so he doesn't have to worry about him. And that's the reason why he tied him up so he wouldn't go anywhere. Now, it could be another person, it could be another group, but to be honest, I can't really think of anyone else who would kidnap him and tie him up. But if there is, please let me know if you have any ideas. And then also we see Keenam hitting somebody. I think that's pretty obvious. That's Haegon. It's heads or tails if he's going to be taken out. I mean, he got captured. He got beaten to the point where they were going to drown him. Yeah, again, it's heads or tails. Now with this episode just continued on with the crazy. Now the soldiers are just shooting at people. It doesn't matter who they are at this point. Again, they went from a list to college students to now anybody. It doesn't matter. Man, woman, child, elderly. It doesn't matter. They're going to attack people and enforce martial law. And then now it came to a point where the civilians are now arming themselves. I mean, what do you think that they were going to do? Just run away? Stand there and get beaten? No, they're going to fight back. And if this episode and the last episode was crazy, can you imagine what's going to happen in episode 11 and 12? And if you just think about the craziness, add in the sad ending that we know that's going to happen. Man. So at the beginning of the episode, it's not really anything surprising, just Hee Tae and Myeong Hee working at the hospital. Shocking to them, they find out that an injured person came to the hospital because they were shot at. Now the soldiers are shooting at people. Then we see a scene of a soldier chasing a civilian. Then another civilian comes and defends that other civilian and had him run away. Now that civilian who's fighting back, he was about to choke that one soldier who was chasing them. But then Kyeong Soo came in. He looked like he was about to pull the trigger, but he didn't because Kyeong Soo pulled the trigger. And just looking at Kyeong Soo not pulling the trigger, you can already tell that he's thinking what I'm doing, what we're doing as soldiers is wrong. And I can't wait to see what else he's going to do. I mean, there were points where it looked like he was about to shoot, but you can see in his facial expression that he doesn't want to be on this side. He knows what he's doing is wrong. And he got scolded because he didn't shoot. And then we see people protesting to end this enforcing of martial law. And then afterwards, we see the soldiers pointing their guns at innocent people. And then we don't see them shooting. We see the hospital, everyone working at the hospital, and what we hear are clack, 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 bullets flying. And then we see a scene of people running away, people on the ground, people hurt, people crying, people screaming. That scene alone sums up everything. And on top of that, we see Myeong Soo and Jeong Tae in the middle of the street while people are being shot at. In my mind, I'm thinking, man, they're gonna get hit. Sooner or later, they're gonna be taken out. Myeong Soo was the one that got hit in the ankle. Jeong Tae ran back and tried to help him, but then he kind of paused for a bit and he saw what we didn't see. Well, he saw something that we didn't see. We don't find out until later on. What he saw was his dad just encouraging the soldiers, not doing anything to help the civilians. He was just standing there watching the whole thing. And then it was to the point where there were so many injured people in the hospital. One of the doctors suggested that, hey, we are going to go out there and save these injured people who are still on the streets and no one is helping them. So Myeong Hee, she wanted to help. She wanted to go. Hee Tae wanted to stop her, but there's no stopping her, so Hee Tae went with her. Now they're out there in the city trying to help people. Myeong Hee wanted to help someone, but then Kyeong Soo came in. He was about to hit her. I'm like, bruh, you're about to make the biggest mistake of your life. But then Hee Tae stopped him, and then there was that confrontation. I had a feeling that this confrontation was going to happen sooner or later. I'm glad it's now, because now we get to see Kyeong Soo maybe switching sides, maybe trying to convince that what they're doing is completely wrong. And then let's fast forward to the ending of this episode. It's nighttime. The doctor is driving. Hee Tae went with him. And there is still that confrontation between Myeong Hee and her dad. But I want to get to Hee Tae's part first. Now, they were just driving, just talking. And then out of nowhere, we see a truck coming towards Hee Tae. But we don't see the truck hitting their van. We just see light getting brighter, and then it just fades out to Myeong Hee and her dad. And then one of the nurses tells Myeong Hee that the doctor and Hee Tae, and that was the end of the episode. I'm gonna say this one more time. If you think that everything that happened in this episode and the last episode was crazy, can you imagine the craziness that's going to happen in episode 11 and 12? Our last 2 episodes? That's crazy enough. And add on the fact that we know that there's going to be a sad ending. We are in for one heck of a ride, mostly a downward one, but we are in for it and I cannot wait for it. So anyway, that's the gist of the episode and my review. If there's anything I might have missed, please leave it in the comments below. Other than that, if you like this video, like, comment down below, and subscribe. See ya.